Hi there and welcome. Welcome to the Laws of Selling, Module 5. Uphold the laws and you win. Break them and you lose. Seems like life, doesn't it? That's the way life is. So welcome to Module 5. It's the first module in our skill set. In this module, I should say, we'll go through those steps that we've already talked about: attention, interest, conviction, desire, and close. They are the 5 steps in the buying process and also the 5 steps in the selling process. Same thing. And we'll learn what it's like to become a professional attitude changer. You see, in each of those 5 steps, there's an attitude change that must take place in the mind of the client. In the attention step, we're talking about rejection to acceptance, that is rejection of you, the seller, to acceptance of you, the seller. In interest, it's about indifference to interest. Conviction, it's about doubt to belief, because we don't believe everything a person tells us. In desire, this is where we want to think it over. It's about procrastination to desire. And finally, in close, it's fear to confidence. So we learn what it's like to become a professional attitude changer. And in fact, as a professional salesperson, that's in fact what you are. The keys to Module 5. If I've got the right mindset and my skills are always on the improve and I have chosen the right tools for the occasion, then my chances of success rise in direct proportion. So remember, this course is all about mindset, skill set, and tool set. And it's a question then of how we can improve on each one as each day goes by. As I mentioned, Module 5, the laws of selling, is the first of the skill set modules. The others include questions that sell. I'll teach you how to ask questions and give you lots of different questions you can ask, build into your repertoire. We'll look at sales presentations, world-class presentations, how to give one of those. We'll look at how to deal with objections, and you'll learn that you want objections, because if you're not getting objections, people probably aren't listening to what you've got to say. And also we'll learn about closing sales. Largely the client closes the sale, but we'll learn some ideas and processes to do that. In this module, we'll talk about the common denominator of success as it relates to selling. And essentially what it is people who are successful in selling simply have formed habits of doing the things that people who aren't as successful don't like to do. In other words, selling is the same across for everybody. Yet some people just do the things better. They have formed a habit of doing things better. You'll meet Gooch, our on-the-road salesman, and you'll get an opportunity to personalize the buying process in order to understand the selling process better. That's a useful exercise. We'll show you how to gain favorable attention and also give you a structure for questioning, which is around what we call the 3 Ps. I'll give you some examples. In fact, I'm going to give you one now of your specific interest step. This is the step you take once you've asked all the questions you feel you need to ask, and basically you're just summarizing at this stage, summarizing what the client is saying to you. And that's what we call a specific interest step. And this is where you begin to stack the value you bring to the table. We talk about selling on price, we talk about selling on value. This is the opportunity you get to sell on value. Here's an example. So I'm selling the sales course to Mr. and Mrs. Chamberlain. And I might start by, I've asked them a series of questions, I've listened to what they've had to say, and now I'm in the process of just summarizing some of their thoughts. So based on what you've said, you feel like you're not closing as many sales as you should, and this is resulting in less income, and consequently, you're not able to achieve the financial goals you and your family have. And you're feeling frustrated by all of this. So what we're doing here is simply summarizing the problems and the feeling associated with not solving those problems. So I'm just reminding them of the things that they said to me was an issue for them. You mentioned you felt some sales training. So now we're having a hint, a look at a potential solution. You mentioned you felt some sales training would help you, and I'm pleased to say the Sales Factor program will help you improve your marketing, sales, knowledge, and skills, resulting in more clients, more sales, and improved cash flow. So now we're giving them a glimpse of possibility, an answer to their frustrations. On the one hand, we've talked about some of the problems and the feelings associated with those problems. Now we're saying, look, based on what you've said, we might be able to help you here. We might be able to help you with some sales training. If you were to go ahead, we're then sort of going to be saying things like, the increased cash flow as a result of making more sales will help you and your family prioritize your goals and give you more time and money to plan that overseas trip you mentioned. You would also like to take with your family. So we're giving them a chance to see the future, the benefits, or what I often call the afters. That is, what happens after you put this in place. So what I'm tapping into there is what we might call a dominant buying motive. In other words, if they were able to put all of this in place, what is it that they really would like to achieve? So what they've told me, what I'm assuming that what they've told me, is that they really like to take the family on a trip. But there's a lot of things that need to be put in place before we can do that. So Mr. and Mrs. Chamberlain, you're probably wondering how the sales factor can help you do this. So let's have a look at the facts. So that's what I call my specific interest statement. And you'll learn how to do one of those and discuss those as time goes on. So some key takeaways for this particular module, 5 steps, you know what they are. The only way to get what you want is by helping your prospect get what they want. We sort of know that. We'll go through each of those 5 steps, and then we'll look at some ideas behind attention and interest, conviction, desire, and close. Look at the purpose of each of those in the process. And that's covered in this Laws of Selling module. It's a fairly heavy module with a lot of things to consider. And so I recommend strongly that you take your time with this one. Go back over it and over it and over it again until you feel like you've got it. And by all means, make sure that you get in touch with me and list the questions that you might have in place. And I'll go through those with you. So once again, here's to your success and always good selling. Give me a call if you get stuck. Cheers.